Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
For those of us who follow the Christian tradition, we're looking forward to Palm Sunday in a few days, and Easter the week after that. But for people following the Jewish faith, they're looking forward to a very different holiday called Purim. They celebrate with parades, costume parties, reading the book of Esther with noisemakers, a festive meal, songs, plays, pastries, and giving gift baskets to the poor. Most of us know the story of Esther, an orphaned Jewish girl who became queen of Persia. God used her and her uncle Mordecai to save the entire Jewish race from complete annihilation. This date had been chosen to kill all the Jews in the kingdom of Persia. However, God, through Esther, foiled this plan. Esther 9 says, "On the day that the enemies of the Jews had hoped to overpower them, the opposite occurred, in that the Jews themselves overpowered those who hated them, and no one could withstand them. Haman, the man who had plotted their demise, and his 10 sons were hung on the same gallows he had built to hang Mordecai, Esther's cousin. For the 2 days that their genocide had been planned, they partied. These days turned from sorrow to joy for them, and from mourning to a holiday, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, of sending presents to one another and gifts to the poor, much like they do today. In fact, many Persians became Jews as they saw all God had done for them. God can turn our mourning into joy, and something we dread into a wonderful experience, too. Things that look bad, He can use for our good and His glory. From the cloud where we see no silver lining whatsoever, the Lord can produce a rainbow. The Bible has many examples of this. Jacob's mourning for the death of his son Joseph turned into joy in his last days as the family was reunited in Egypt. Jehoshaphat's fear and dread of the 3 armies coming against Jerusalem turned to praise as he trusted God's promises and sent the choir out in front of the army. The disciples' day of sorrow turned into joy as Jesus appeared to them after his resurrection. David encourages us to sing praise and give thanks to God, because weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. He says, "You have turned my mourning into dancing. You have put off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness." As Jesus warned his disciples before his death, you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice, and you will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will be turned into joy. Many times in my life, I've seen God do this for me, and I'm sure He's done it for you as well. Even in the ultimate sorrow, death, Jesus has triumphed. And in the end, God promises to wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, no sorrow, nor crying. There will be no more pain, for the former things have passed away, and behold, I make all things new. Now, if God has turned our sorrow into joy and our mourning into gladness before, and He promises to do it again in the end, don't you think He can be trusted with whatever you're facing today? The Lord is faithful, and He is in control. Put your life into His hands today. Trust Him with your heart.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.